Have you ever felt the sting of someone pulling away just when you thought everything was going perfectly? The lingering silence, the cold responses, the gradual disappearance from your life. It's as if the harder you try to pull her back, the faster she slips through your fingers. But what if I told you there's a way to reverse this? A way to shift the dynamics, not through manipulation, but through mastering yourself. This isn't just another quick fix guide. This is about you becoming the kind of man who naturally commands respect and attention. A man who understands that real power in relationships comes not from chasing, but from letting go. By the end of this journey, you won't just know how to make her miss you, you'll become a high-value man who attracts her and others effortlessly. Intrigued? You should be. Stick around, because the most powerful tools are yet to come, especially in Part 8, where we'll discuss how to make her fight for your attention. Let's start with the cornerstone of regaining control, the power of no contact. 1. The power of no contact. Imagine this. You vanish without a trace. No texts, no calls, no likes or comments on her Instagram. Suddenly, the man she once felt so sure of is nowhere to be found. What do you think happens next? Most men panic at the thought of going silent. They believe that if they don't constantly remind her of their presence, she'll forget about them entirely. But here's the paradox. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. When you initiate no contact, you disrupt her expectations. In today's world of constant notifications and instant gratification, silence is deafening. It's in those quiet moments that curiosity begins to creep in. She starts to wonder, why hasn't he reached out? Has he moved on? Is he seeing someone else? These questions become a loop in her mind, slowly chipping away at her sense of control. No contact isn't about playing games, it's about psychological reset. Women, like all humans, crave what they can't have. By removing yourself from her life, you create a void, and nature abhors a vacuum. Think of this as your secret weapon in a war of attraction. But here's the catch. To wield it effectively, you must commit. No half measures, no just checking in messages. For 30 days, you must become a ghost. Can you handle that? Most men can't, and that's exactly why this strategy works. Let's talk results. When she realizes you've gone dark, her mind will spiral. She'll start to see your past interactions in a new light, focusing on the good times and forgetting the bad. Why? Because your absence forces her to remember you on your terms. She'll replay conversations, scroll through old photos, and wonder why she ever pulled away in the first place. But don't just take my word for it. Countless men have used this method to not only bring back a distant lover, but also to regain their confidence and sense of self-worth. The no-contact rule is Stoicism in action. It teaches you to control what you can, yourself, and let go of what you can't, her reactions. Still not convinced? Let me leave you with this. By going silent, you're not just making her miss you. You're showing her that you respect yourself enough to walk away. And that, my friend, is irresistible. Stay tuned, because in the next section we'll dive into the art of emotional detachment, the secret sauce to making her crave your attention without lifting a finger. 2. Emotional detachment, the silent power that draws her in. What if I told you that the moment you stop caring so much is the moment she starts caring more? It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? But here's the truth. Emotional detachment is one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal. It's not about playing hard to get or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about genuinely shifting your focus from seeking her validation to valuing your own peace and growth. Why does emotional detachment work? Because attraction thrives in the space between certainty and mystery. When you're constantly available, constantly seeking to please, you rob the relationship of that space. But when you pull back emotionally, you create a vacuum, a silence that speaks louder than words. She begins to wonder, why isn't he reacting? Why doesn't he seem affected? And that's when her interest starts to reignite. Let's break it down. Emotional detachment is not about shutting down your feelings. It's about refusing to let your emotions dictate your actions. You can care for someone deeply and still choose not to chase them. You can acknowledge your feelings without letting them control you. This is the essence of Stoicism. Mastering your internal world, no matter what chaos may surround you. Consider this scenario. She sends a text, but it's vague or non-committal. In the past, you might have jumped to respond, eager to keep the conversation alive. Now, you pause. You take your time, and when you do respond, it's calm, brief, and self-assured. No neediness. No over-explaining. Just a man who knows his worth. Here's a practical exercise. The next time she pulls back or tests your patience, ask yourself, is my reaction coming from a place of strength or insecurity? If it's the latter, take a step back. Breathe. Focus on something that brings you joy or helps you grow. Hit the gym, work on a project, or spend time with friends. By redirecting your energy, you not only regain your composure, but also remind yourself that your happiness doesn't hinge on her approval. Now, let's address a common fear. What if she loses interest completely? The answer is simple. If your emotional detachment causes her to walk away for good, then she wasn't truly invested in the first place. A woman who values you will be drawn back by your confidence and self-assuredness. She'll see that you're not just another man vying for her attention. You're a man who commands respect effortlessly. Emotional detachment is freedom. Freedom from the constant need to prove yourself. Freedom from the fear of losing her. And ironically, it's this very freedom that makes you so magnetic. When you stop reacting to every little thing she does, you send a powerful message. I am in control of my life, and I don't need anyone to complete me. Ready to take the next step? In the following section, we'll uncover the art of making her miss you, a game-changing strategy that leverages your newfound emotional strength to create undeniable attraction. 3. Making her miss you. The subtle art of absence. Absence. It's such a simple concept, yet so few men know how to use it effectively. In a world where we're bombarded with notifications, DMs, and endless streams of content, standing out requires one thing: stepping back. When you remove your presence from her life, you create a void. And that void is exactly what makes her miss you. Think about it. When was the last time you truly missed someone? It wasn't when they were constantly in your face, was it? No, it was when they were nowhere to be found. When their absence made you realize how much they added to your life. The same principle applies here. By intentionally withdrawing, you allow her to feel the weight of your absence. Here's how you do it. Stop liking her photos. Stop commenting on her posts. Don't reply to every story she shares. These small actions might seem insignificant, but they carry a powerful message. I'm not chasing you. And guess what? When you stop giving her that easy validation, she'll start to notice. She'll start to wonder why the one person who used to always be there suddenly isn't. But here's the key. You have to stay strong. No matter how tempting it is to react, to reach out, to remind her of your existence, don't. Trust the process. Silence is your ally. It's the loudest message you can send in an age where everyone is screaming for attention. Now, you might be thinking, what if she doesn't notice? What if she moves on? Here's the truth. A woman who genuinely values you won't let your absence go unnoticed. She'll start to feel it in the little moments, when she's scrolling through her feed, waiting for your name to pop up when she's out with friends, wondering why you haven't texted. That curiosity will grow into longing, and before you know it, she'll be the one reaching out. And when she does, that's your moment. But more on that later. For now, focus on mastering the art of absence. Let her miss you. Let her feel the void. It's a powerful strategy that, when executed correctly, can completely shift the dynamics in your favor. Speaking of strategies, if you found these insights valuable so far, now's the perfect time to show some love. Hit that like button and let's keep this momentum going. Your support helps bring more life-changing content to men who need it. Next, we'll explore how to avoid the pitfalls that can sabotage your progress. In avoiding common mistakes, you'll learn how to navigate the delicate balance of maintaining your composure while staying true to your newfound power. Stay with me, the journey is just getting started. 4. Avoiding common mistakes. The trap most men fall into. You've made it this far. You've gone silent, you've pulled back emotionally, and you've started to create that void in her life. But now comes the hardest part, resisting the urge to break your own rules. This is where most men fail. The silence gets too loud, the anxiety too overwhelming, and before they know it, they've sent that one text they swore they wouldn't. Let's be clear. One small mistake can unravel everything. It might seem harmless at the moment, a quick "Hey, how are you?" or liking her latest post. But in her eyes, these actions scream desperation. And desperation is the fastest way to kill attraction. Why is it so hard to stay strong during this phase? Because silence is uncomfortable. We're conditioned to believe that action leads to results. If she's pulling away, our instincts tell us to fix it, to reach out, to explain, to make her feel something. But here's the cold truth. Every time you reach out, you're telling her that she still holds all the power. You're validating her pullback and reinforcing the very behavior you want to change. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine she posts a stunning photo on Instagram. She looks amazing, and you know she's fishing for likes and comments. Your first instinct? Double tap. Maybe even slide into her DMs with a casual compliment. But stop and ask yourself, what message am I sending? You're telling her that she can still get your attention without any effort. And worse, you're blending in with every other guy who's flooding her inbox. Here's a better strategy. Do nothing. Let her wonder why you didn't react. Let her scroll through her notifications and realize your name is missing. That silence? It's louder than any compliment you could give. Another common mistake? Checking her social media obsessively, watching her stories, trying to piece together what she's doing and who she's with. This behavior not only wastes your time but also keeps you emotionally tethered to her. Remember, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control. You can't control her actions, but you can control your response. So how do you avoid these traps? By staying disciplined and trusting the process. Every time you feel the urge to break no contact, remind yourself of the bigger picture. Your goal isn't to win her back in the short term. It's to reset the power dynamics and rebuild her attraction naturally. And if you do slip up, don't panic. A single mistake won't ruin everything, but it's crucial to recognize it and course correct immediately. The key is consistency. Stick to your boundaries, respect your own value, and let her come to you. In the next section, we'll dig deeper into understanding her behavior and what it means when she pulls back. Understanding why she pulled back will give you the insights you need to navigate this delicate dance with confidence. But before we move on, let me know. What's the hardest part of staying disciplined for you? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. 5. Understanding why she pulled back. Decoding her silence. Now that you've mastered silence and emotional detachment, it's time to tackle an important question. Why did she pull back in the first place? Understanding her behavior is crucial because without this knowledge, you're navigating blind. Let's start with the basics. Women don't just pull back for no reason. It's often tied to the subtle shifts in the power dynamics of your relationship. Think about it. Attraction isn't static. It ebbs and flows based on how both people perceive each other. When she feels like she has too much control, the spark begins to fade. This isn't something she consciously decides, it's human nature. Imagine you're always available, quick to reply, eager to please, constantly seeking her validation. On the surface, it might seem like you're showing her how much you care. But what's actually happening? You're becoming predictable. And predictability is the enemy of excitement. Here's another layer. Women often test men without even realizing it. She might start pulling back to see how you'll react. Will you chase her? Will you panic? Or will you remain calm and confident? These tests are her way of determining your emotional strength. If you fail, by chasing or overreacting, you confirm her suspicions that she holds the power. But let's dig even deeper. People naturally value what they have to work for. When you're constantly available, you lower your perceived value. It's like receiving a gift every day. It stops feeling special. But when something is rare or requires effort, it becomes more desirable. The same principle applies here. So, what's the takeaway? Her pullback isn't a death sentence for your relationship. It's an opportunity. An opportunity to reset the dynamic and make her see you in a new light. By pulling back yourself, you're showing her that you're not desperate for her attention. You're teaching her to value your presence. And here's the kicker. When she realizes she no longer has you wrapped around her finger, she'll start to feel that loss. She'll begin to miss the man who wasn't afraid to walk away. This shift in perception is what reignites attraction. Remember, this isn't about punishing her or playing games. It's about respecting yourself enough to maintain balance in the relationship. You're showing her that you're not just another guy willing to do anything to keep her around. You're a man who knows his worth. In the next section, we'll explore how to build the emotional resilience needed to navigate these challenges. Building emotional strength will equip you with the tools to remain unshaken, no matter what tests or obstacles come your way. Stay with me, because this is where the real transformation begins. 6. Building emotional strength. Becoming unshakable. Let me ask you this. What separates a man who commands respect from one who's easily forgotten? It's not his looks, wealth, or charm. It's his emotional strength. The ability to remain calm and composed, even when the world around him is in chaos, is what makes a man truly magnetic. And in relationships, this trait is invaluable. Emotional strength is your shield against the highs and lows of attraction. It's what keeps you grounded when she pulls back, tests you, or throws curveballs your way. Without it, every small action she takes, every delayed text, every moment of silence feels like a personal attack. But with it, you become unshakable, a man who cannot be easily swayed. So, how do you build this emotional fortress? It starts with a shift in mindset. You need to understand that your value doesn't come from her approval or attention. It comes from within. This is the essence of Stoicism, focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot. You can't control her feelings or actions, but you can control how you respond. Let's dive into some practical steps. First, learn to embrace discomfort. Emotional strength isn't built in times of ease, it's forged in moments of challenge. The silence during no contact, the uncertainty of her feelings, these are opportunities to grow stronger. Instead of running from these moments, lean into them. Sit with the discomfort and remind yourself that it's temporary. Over time, you'll find that the things that once rattled you no longer hold power. Second, practice emotional detachment in all areas of your life. This doesn't mean you stop caring, it means you stop reacting to everything. Whether it's a stressful day at work, a disagreement with a friend, or a test from her, respond with calm and composure. When you master this, you'll find that people naturally gravitate towards your steady energy. Here's an exercise. The next time you feel an emotional reaction bubbling up, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? 9 times out of 10, it won't be. And in that moment, you'll realize the power of emotional control. But let's take this one step further. Emotional strength isn't just about handling challenges, it's about setting boundaries. When you're emotionally strong, you don't tolerate disrespect or games. You know what you want and what you deserve, and you're not afraid to walk away if those standards aren't met. This self-assuredness is incredibly attractive because it signals that you're a man who values himself. And here's the beautiful irony. The less you rely on her for validation, the more she'll seek yours. Emotional strength flips the script. Suddenly, she's the one wondering where she stands with you. She's the one working to prove her worth. Before we move on, let me pose a question. What areas of your life could benefit from more emotional strength? Think about it and let me know in the comments. Sharing your thoughts not only helps you reflect but also shows others that they're not alone on this journey. Now, let's move on to the next stage of your transformation. Responding when she reaches out is where all your hard work begins to pay off. This is your moment to shine, but only if you play your cards right. Let's dive in. 7. Responding when she reaches out. Play it cool, command respect. The silence has been deafening, the void palpable, and now finally she reaches out. Whether it's a simple hey or a more elaborate message, this is the moment you've been waiting for. But here's the thing. How you respond now will determine whether you solidify your position as a high-value man or fall back into old habits. Let's set the stage. She's been wondering about you. Your absence has made her curious, and now she's testing the waters. Maybe she misses you, maybe she's just looking for validation, or maybe she's genuinely interested in reconnecting. Whatever her motivation, your response must be calm, confident, and calculated. Here's your first rule. Don't respond immediately. Let her message sit for a few hours, maybe even a day. Why? Because instant replies signal that you've been waiting for her. You want to show that while you're open to reconnecting, you're not sitting around hoping for it. When you do reply, keep it short and indifferent. For example, if she says, "Hey, how have you been?" your response could be, "I'm good, just been busy with some projects." How about you notice the tone here? It's polite but detached. You're not giving away too much, and you're certainly not diving back into emotional territory. Why is this important? Because it keeps her guessing. She's used to the old you, the one who might have poured his heart out at the first sign of attention. But this time she's met with a man who's cool, composed, and clearly thriving without her. This shift in dynamics is powerful. It makes her work harder to re-establish a connection. Now let's talk about boundaries. If she suggests meeting up, don't jump at the opportunity. Instead, respond with something like, "Sounds good. Let's see how the week goes." This signals that while you're open to seeing her, you're not prioritizing her over your other commitments. You're a busy man with a life, and she'll need to fit into it. Here's the golden rule. Never go back to the old dynamic. If you were overly available before, this is your chance to reset that balance. Let her feel that she needs to earn her place in your life again. This isn't about playing games, it's about maintaining respect and ensuring that the relationship dynamics are healthy and balanced. Remember, your goal isn't just to get her back. It's to create a new foundation where mutual respect and attraction can thrive. And that starts with how you handle this first interaction. In the next section, we'll explore the art of rebuilding a relationship on your terms. Reinstating boundaries and power dynamics will show you how to maintain control and ensure that your newfound strength becomes a permanent fixture in your life. Stay tuned, because this is where you truly level up. 8. Reinstating boundaries and power dynamics. Resetting the rules of the game. She's back in your life, or at least she's trying to be. But this time, things need to be different. You're no longer the man who bends over backward for her approval. You've transformed, and it's time to ensure she knows it. This is where boundaries come into play. Why are boundaries so important? Because they're the framework that maintains respect in any relationship. Without them, you risk falling back into the same patterns that caused her to pull away in the first place. Remember, relationships thrive on balance. If one person holds all the power, the dynamic becomes unhealthy, and attraction inevitably fades. So how do you reinstate boundaries effectively? First, you need to communicate your standards. This doesn't mean sitting her down for a formal conversation. Instead, it's about demonstrating through your actions that your time, energy, and attention are valuable commodities. For example, if she used to text at all hours and expect immediate replies, you now respond when it's convenient for you. If she wants to meet, she'll need to align with your schedule, not the other way around. Here's a powerful way to set boundaries subtly. The next time she tries to make last-minute plans, respond with something like, "I'd love to, but I've got a busy day. Let's plan for another time." This sends a clear message. You're not at her beck and call anymore. You're a man with a life, and she'll need to respect that if she wants to be part of it. Another key element: address past behaviors calmly but firmly. If she crosses a line or exhibits the same patterns that led to your initial separation, don't shy away from calling it out. For instance, if she starts pulling back again or playing games, say something like, "I'm looking for a relationship where we both respect each other's time and energy. If that's not something you're ready for, I completely understand." This isn't about issuing ultimatums, it's about clearly stating what you're willing to accept. Boundaries also mean knowing when to walk away. If she repeatedly disrespects your time or continues to test your limits, you must be prepared to let her go. Emotional strength, as we discussed earlier, is rooted in knowing your worth. You're not here to chase or convince anyone of your value. When you enforce these boundaries, something fascinating happens. She starts to see you in a new light. You're no longer the overly accommodating man she once knew. You've become a challenge, a man with purpose and direction. This shift is magnetic because it shows her that you won't tolerate anything less than mutual respect. Here's the key takeaway. Boundaries are not barriers, they're bridges to healthy relationships. By setting and maintaining them, you create a dynamic where both partners feel valued and respected. And that's the foundation for long-term attraction. Up next, we'll explore how to use this period of growth to focus on what truly matters, yourself. In staying focused during the pullback, you'll learn how to channel your energy into self-improvement, ensuring that you continue to thrive regardless of her actions. 9. Staying focused during the pullback. Leveling up your life. Let's face it, the waiting game can be tough. No contact is in full swing, and while she's likely feeling the void, this period isn't about her, it's about you. This is your opportunity to focus entirely on self-improvement, to become the best version of yourself. Why? Because when she finally reaches out, she should find a man who's stronger, more confident, and more accomplished than ever before. The most common mistake men make during this time is sitting around, waiting for her to return. They check their phones obsessively, replay past conversations, and wallow in self-pity. But this approach not only wastes time, it weakens your position. Instead, you need to shift your mindset. She's not your focus. You are. Let's break it down. What areas of your life could use improvement? Is it your physical health, your career, your social circle? Now is the time to invest in these areas. Hit the gym and build the physique you've always wanted. Take that online course and sharpen your skills. Reconnect with old friends or expand your network. Every moment you spend improving yourself is a moment that makes you more attractive, not just to her, but to everyone around you. Why does this work? Because self-improvement radiates confidence. When she sees that you've been thriving in her absence, it triggers a powerful psychological response. She begins to realize that you're not just surviving without her, you're thriving. This creates a sense of urgency. She'll feel that if she doesn't act soon, she might lose you to someone else. Here's another crucial point. Self-improvement isn't just a strategy to win her back. It's a lifelong commitment. The man you're becoming during this time is someone who will attract high-value people and opportunities naturally. You're not just leveling up for her, you're doing it for yourself. But let's be honest, this journey isn't easy. There will be days when the silence feels unbearable, when you question whether all this effort is worth it. In those moments, remind yourself of your ultimate goal, to become a man who commands respect and admiration effortlessly. If you found this content valuable so far, take a moment to hit that like button. Your support helps us reach more men who need guidance on their journey to self-improvement. Now, let's dive into the final, transformative step, using heartbreak as fuel. This is where you turn pain into power and set the stage for a future filled with limitless potential. 10. Using heartbreak as fuel. Transforming pain into power. Heartbreak is one of life's most painful experiences. It can leave you feeling broken, lost, and questioning your worth. But what if I told you that heartbreak could be your greatest source of strength? That within the pain lies the potential for profound transformation. Throughout history, some of the most successful men have used heartbreak as a catalyst for greatness. Athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, they've all faced rejection and loss, yet they channeled that pain into fuel for their ambitions. And you can do the same. The first step: shift your perspective on pain. Instead of seeing heartbreak as a weakness, view it as an opportunity. Every time you feel that pang of longing or regret, let it remind you of your purpose. Use it as a driving force to push harder in the gym, to work longer on your goals, and to become the man you've always aspired to be. Consider this. Pain is temporary, but the growth it inspires can last a lifetime. Every effort you make during this time is laying the foundation for a future where you're stronger, more resilient, and more successful. And when she sees this transformation, she'll regret ever pulling away. But here's the best part. By the time she comes back, you might realize that you no longer need her. Your journey of self-improvement has elevated you to a point where her validation is irrelevant. This is the ultimate form of power, knowing that your happiness and success are entirely in your hands. As we wrap up this journey, I encourage you to reflect on everything we've covered. From no contact to emotional strength, from boundaries to self-improvement, every step is designed to help you reclaim your power and live life on your terms. If this video resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Like, comment, and subscribe to stay connected with more transformative content. And if you know someone who could benefit from these lessons, share this with them. Together, we can create a community of men who are unstoppable. Thank you for watching, and remember, the power to change your life starts now. Stay strong, stay focused, and I'll see you in the next one.